In this tutorial video, we'll demonstrate how to use the section of Easy Maintenance where you create purchase orders. In this tutorial, we'll demonstrate how to perform the following actions. View and search the list of purchase orders. Create a new purchase order. Edit an existing purchase order. Print a purchase order. Close a purchase order. Print a list of open purchase orders. To access the feature of Easy Maintenance that lets you create purchase orders, click on the Purchase Order button at the Inventory module main menu. This will open up a window that lists all of the purchase orders that have been entered so far. As you can see, for each purchase order in the list, the number of the purchase order is displayed, as well as a vendor to whom it's being sent, and the date on which it was created. The purchase order numbers are assigned automatically by Easy Maintenance in sequence. The first PO you create in Easy Maintenance is assigned to number 1, the second the number 2, and so on. You can also see the list of items contained in each purchase order. To do this, just select a PO by clicking on it. The list of items contained in the PO will display below. For each item in the list, the unique item number is displayed along with the name of the item and the quantity. You can also search for purchase orders if you know the number of the purchase order for which you're searching, or the vendor to whom it's being sent. First, in the upper right part of the window, choose whether you're searching by purchase order number or by vendor ID by clicking on one of the circles called Purchase Order Number or Vendor ID, respectively. Then, depending on what you selected, type in the purchase order number or vendor ID into the box immediately below and hit the return key. If there is a purchase order that matches what you're looking for, it will be selected from the list. To create a new purchase order, click on the New button at the bottom left part of the window. This will open up a window at which you enter the details about the new purchase order. At the upper right part of the window is a field in which you can enter the date of the purchase order. The current date is automatically filled in here. You must also choose the vendor to whom the purchase order is being sent. This is done using the Vendor ID drop-down box. Once you choose the vendor to whom you're sending the PO, the vendor's contact information will display below. You can also select the terms of payment from the Terms drop-down box here, although this is optional. Keep in mind that you can only choose vendors that have been entered into Easy Maintenance already. See video 4.2, Entering Materials and Parts Vendors, for information on how to enter vendors into Easy Maintenance. Likewise, you can only choose payment terms that have already been entered into Easy Maintenance. This is discussed in video 4.6, Entering Payment Terms and Vendor Ratings. To add items to the purchase order, use the New Detail button. This will open up a window into which you enter the details about the new inventory item. First, select the item number of the inventory item you're adding from the Material Number drop-down box. Notice that the reorder quantity and the unit price are automatically entered in the reorder quantity and unit price fields, respectively. However, you can change the unit price to the price at which you're purchasing it from the vendor if it is not the unit price. Then enter the quantity that you're ordering from the vendor into the Quantity Ordered field. The Extended Price field will automatically be filled in with the total cost, which is the unit price multiplied by the quantity ordered. Enter the date on which the item is to be delivered into the Delivery Date field. Then click on the OK button to save the item to the purchase order, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to add the item to the purchase order. You can also edit items which you've already added to the purchase order. To do this, just select the item by clicking on it, and then click on the Edit Detail button. A window will open which is similar to the one at which you enter a new item on the purchase order, except here all of the information for the item is already filled in. You can change any of the properties of the item here. Once you've finished making your desired changes, just click on the OK button to save your changes, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to make any changes. Also, you can enter the point of contact for your company on the purchase order. This is done under the Contact Info tab. Here you enter the name of the contact, phone number, their fax number, the delivery date, and the person who completed the order. If you require a certificate of conformance or test data with the delivery of the items, then check the Certificate of Conformance or Test Data checkboxes to the right. Under the Order Totals tab, you can enter where the freight is on board. The total cost of all the items in the purchase order is displayed in the Order Total field. Once you've entered all of the information for the purchase order, then click on the OK button to save the purchase order into Easy Maintenance, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to enter the purchase order. You can also edit purchase orders which you've entered. To do this, just select the purchase order you want to edit by clicking on it, and then click on the Edit button at the bottom of the window. This will open up a window which is very similar to the one at which you create a new purchase order, except that all of the information already entered for that purchase order is shown. You can edit any of the information for the purchase order except the purchase order number. Once you've finished making your desired changes, click on the OK button to save your changes, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to make any changes to the purchase order. To print a purchase order, just open it up for editing as we just described. Then click on the Print PO button at the bottom of the window. Once all of the items in a purchase order have been received, you may want to close the purchase order. To do this, open up a purchase order for editing as we described earlier. Then locate the Close checkbox at the top of the window. Click in this checkbox to mark the purchase order as being closed, and then click on the OK button to save the purchase order. At the window which lists all of the purchase orders, you can print a list of all purchase orders that are still open. Click on the Report button at the bottom of the window to print the list of POs that are still open. This report shows all of the POs that are still open, as well as the items in each one, and how many of each have been received. We'll discuss receiving items against purchase orders in the next video.